Good
I just
evening,
noticed the title.
everybody. How are you doing? You are here with Women Crushing It Wednesdays. I got all my girls here. Esmeralda, we're going to start with you. Want to say hi to everybody?
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. It's Fotógrafa de la Gente. I'm on here today, ready to talk about all the fights this week.
Definitely. And we have our girl Nancy in the house. Nancy, how you doing?
Doing awesome. Just so excited. It's the four of us again. I'm so happy. So Boxing Republic, thank you for having me.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, last but not least, Nika, what's going on, girl?
Hi, Snakas with Nika, and with featuring my red cup.
Ari Boxing already. Hi, Nika.
Hey,
hi,
Ari.
ladies. Hi. Lee Groves, great to see everyone, and happy to see Nancy back on camera. Yes, we are too. We are so.
She promised that she was
happy.
not gonna cry this week.
I know.
Yes,
I know.
Exactly. Yes, we're so happy too. We get to see her face this week. It's fabulous. But you know, there's been so much going on in the boxing world. But last weekend, we're just gonna jump right into it. We had a great heavyweight. Well, actually, we had two great heavyweight fights that I thought we did on TV. The first one was on the co-main event, Ajagba and Sanchez. Esmeralda, I'm gonna start with you. What did you think about that fight, and who did you have winning before that?
To be honest, I was zoning in and out. I was like, oh my god, that was my.
You're like, let's get to the main event.
Main event.
I was really just eager for the main event, so I was watching bits and pieces. I mostly read everything on Twitter, but I really wasn't as into it. So
right. I got you. What about you, Nancy? Who did you have winning? Did you make a prediction before?
I did. I had hoped. Yeah, I had hoped that Ajagba. Am I saying his name right? Ajagba.
I'm hoping I am Ajagba. I'm hoping I'm saying
Ajagba, right? Yeah. Well, I really had hoped, that he'd put on a good fight. I kind of was in and out as well, but and especially, we were hosted by some good friends. So you know how it is when you're, with other folks. And so I was kind of in and out for.
So they're talking and they don't really care, and you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
But I was, of course, keeping like an eye out, right? And I think it started off, pretty good, both staying busy. But I mean, it was just, I don't know. I was expecting more, to be honest. I'm happy for Sanchez. I mean, I didn't have a horse in the race here, wasn't really rooting for one more than the other. But you could start to see, especially, I think after the third round, that Sanchez was really, demonstrating his excelling, right, in both like the boxing IQ, staying busy over Ajagba. So it was an okay fight. Yeah, I can't say it was exciting. I'm glad Sanchez won because he did well. He performed really well, and I know there's been a lot of talk about like who's next for him. So I think I'm going to keep watching, and seeing what continues for him. And I'll touch on just when I found out his age, I was like, no way, right? And you saw like a lot of the media, a lot of Twitter was, the memes or whatever. I'm like, this dude is not 29, right? I had to look it up. No offense if he's listening,
right. Of course he's listening.
Yeah, I was like,
to us.
Sanchez, I'm sorry. I don't know. I thought you were even older than me.
Well, Nika, and before I go to you, Nika, so Lee Grove said, yes, you're saying it correctly. And I predicted Ajagba would win.
Oh, he did too.
I did too, actually. But all we can do is make our best guess on what we see. And the ring has a way of proving people like me wrong very often. Same. Nika,
yeah, because I went with him too.
Yeah, exactly. Did you pick Sanchez or did you pick Ajagba?
I picked Ajagba last week. That's why when I bet, I never really bet like who's gonna win. I bet like how far they're gonna go in the rounds or something like that.
Right.
I'm not good at that because boxing is so unpredictable, So but I'm gonna agree with Ari Boxing Talk. that it after a while that fight was kind of dragging. I was like, oh, hurry up, like wrap this shit up. It was like it was really dragging.
Took way too long.
Yeah, I fixed myself a drink because it was like it was really dragging. But Sanchez, he had I guess a good plan and he executed it because Jawa did not look good against him. And I think Sanchez looked like he was 29 in there. He might not look 29 in the way, but he looked like he was 29 in the ring.
He was
him,
moving.
So, yeah, so
and I picked Ajagba too. He's right now training with a friend of mine, Kate Karoma, who I love, and he's a great trainer. So of course I was like, yeah, but I also knew that Sanchez was a great boxer, and he's I mean, his last few fights, he looked excellent. Ajagba kind of reminded me of like, this is going to sound really bad, but Wilder with a little bit more skill. He's a little robotic, but and he doesn't move his head, and that's the problem. So he was kind of like a walking target, walking punching bag, you would say. And Sanchez was just boxing circles around him. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Ari Boxing. Not everyone has great genes like ladies. Imlo, Ajagba, one-dimensional right-hand power. Right, just like I said, he reminded me of Wilder, except a little bit more skill. Sorry, he didn't have much to offer, Sanchez.
Emilo called him Wilder 2.0.
Oh my God.
And it just the way that he was moving. Again, just because how important. Maybe I think you articulated the thought better than I did, Christine, because when I say, that Sanchez was just keeping busier, I think it's what you said, is that like no se mueve, like he's just, and if he does, it's like he comes off like he's got that like he's just, what is the term I'm looking for? Like just heavy. I know he's a heavyweight, but like heavy in just slow to move, right?
Slow to move, robotic, just very like one-dimensional, and
I'm sure there's a term for that.
Yeah, lethargic, or I don't know. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, he was just there, and if he catches you, he's gonna knock you out and hurt you. But who's gonna stand in front of him? Well, people have, but what boxer is gonna stand in front of him? I mean, they're not. They're gonna know how to get away. And then. We got stuck in the mud. Lee Grove says stuck in the mud. We got to talk about Berlanga getting dropped. Nika, I'm going to start with you. When Berlanga got dropped, what did you think? Like,
she's laughing.
Not the king. What happened? What happened there?
He's not the king to me. I was not convinced by Berlanga in the first place, so I wasn't surprised that he got dropped. I actually took a big swig of my drink when he got dropped. I was like,
cheers.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I was like, I felt like this is boxing this year has been humble season. So I feel like I have a list of fighters who I feel need to be humbled, and he was on that list. And I was like, well, humble,
Eat his pie.
Yeah, but I have to give credit to him because it did come out that he had a torn bicep, and he did still fight through the fight 12 rounds with the torn bicep. But I just never really been convinced as like Berlanga to be this monster, or like the king or whatever like that. I feel like once he steps in with more heavier competition, it's just gonna keep happening, to be honest.
And before I go to Esmeralda, I'm gonna say something that you were saying. Giving him credit with his torn bicep and so on and so forth, whatever. This is funny to me. Not funny. This is the new era of boxing right now. Hey, G Funky, because this is the thing. And Esmeralda knows this too. Boxers get hurt every time they step in the ring. Something happens. There's something always going on. But it seems like just now people are starting to put it out there. Before, you would hide it. You would hide your injuries. You would hide that there was something wrong.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
But it's like now we're in an era where
hey, I have torn bicep. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was dropped, but hey, I got a torn bicep. okay, what does that have to do with you getting dropped? But that's just my little spiel. Esmeralda, what did you think whenever Berlanga got dropped?
It was like my jaw dropped, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I saw that coming, but it just dropped because it was actually reality.
Right.
I'm not a fan of his yet. I haven't
Right.
been convinced, but I do think that eventually he might earn me as a fan for the simple fact that he got back up and he fought a good fight. Um, did you guys see when that kid G Squad or G Floors when he got knocked out or knocked down?
Yeah.
He was a complete sore loser. He was everything from him was just negative. So I think Berlanga at least is going to get back in the gym, train, work on everything that he now sees that he needs help with, everything he needs to improve. And I feel like we might see like Berlanga 2.0, like an actual Berlanga that's okay,
Right.
like actually
a
hanging in there
humble,
with the
maybe a
competition.
humble Berlanga, a humble
Like a
Berlanga.
more humble, yeah.
Yeah,
He
hopefully
fed
he'll
into
keep
the
that
hype
humble
that
pie in
Top
his
Rank.
back pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Top Rank, had him on that fast track, one
Yes.
knockout streak, and they put him in there with guys that he would knock out in the first
Yep,
round,
Lee
and
just said
he
that.
started
Just
believing
said
his own hype. So I believe he was humbled. We'll see.
Absolutely. Lee just said exactly what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you think, Nancy? Whenever he got dropped, what were you thinking?
So, I was like, andale. I'm like, there you go. Right.
Right.
So I'm glad it happened. Like, I'm glad it happened because that's the growth that I think there's growth that needs to happen. Right. That's awesome that you've been knocking people out in the first round. Right. That's great. But who were those opponents? Right. And then on top of that, you do need that moment. I think anybody that has that type of career where you're humbled, not necessarily saying that it has to be like with the loss, but like humbled in a way where you really got challenged, right? And I think that happens. I'm with Micah. I can't say. Oh, is that my echo? I can't say that I'm a fan. I can't say that. I'm not saying I don't like him, but or that I do like him. I'm kind of neutral. But I'll tell you this. I admire that he did like not have, at least from what we could see, like in the ring or when he was going to the corner, like a crap attitude, right, about how the fight was going. So to me, that shows signs that he's someone that's coachable, someone that is going to go back and hopefully listen to the corner, right? Watch film, go back, watch the fight, and come back, like Esmeralda said, right? Like a 2.0, which I think is what we need. He's had a lot of backing from like celebrities. And he's been all over social media. So I'm hoping he takes this as, okay, not so much focused on, I don't want to let like Fat Joe and all these rappers that are always with him down, but more like my growth personally.
Right.
Like I got to get this done. One comment that I'll make is the torn bicep situation. So I heard that he's calling out Canelo, but we already know what Canelo can do when it comes to torn biceps.
Right. Right.
I would like to address someone in the chat though, because
yes,
this guy, El Chido Boxing, I guess is what you want to be called.
I was going to get on him too.
It says so much hate on fighters touching the canvas. Many legends have been down and became good. Give him time.
No hate
here.
There's
But we're not hating. There's no hate. I just said that I didn't buy into the monster and the Berlanga hype. What is that hating? That's my opinion. That's not fucking hate. And I didn't say that he wasn't a good boxer because he hit the canvas. I just said it was kind of like I saw that coming, and he needs to be humble.
Fact. He hit the canvas.
And I just talked about it being a good thing too, that it's growth. Like, I'm happy it happened for the positive that we hope comes from this, which is the growth as a boxer.
You girls are happy it happened because it's Berlanga. Would you be happy it happened if it's Sanders Ayers? Because he's also kind of on that hype train. He really hasn't proven himself as much as people think.
You know what?
Yeah, I'm all about fighters getting humble. So you know what? If it happens to him,
right.
Because he's the other Puerto Rican fighter that's also coming up and that people are extremely happy, and he's all over social media doing interviews and everything. That's great. But also, is he going to hang in there with an actual tough opponent? Is he also going to have a strong chin? Is he also going to fall in order for him to improve? Because I think that's where a lot of the fighters are at right now, is that they fought so many guys that weren't on the same level. So when they fight someone that's above them, it's like, oh shit, here's the competition.
Yep. You got a great point there. You're right. You know, I
think that's an excellent point. I agree.
It is. I can say as a human being, or me, you know, speaking, it's so much easier to embrace someone who is humble and not cocky and is likable than someone that is not. And then, you know, yeah, you're right.
It's the same situation, except
on his ass. Am I going to be like, yeah, eat that pie? No, I'm not. I'm gonna be like, he good. You know, no, you're absolutely right. That's a great point. It really
because it's the same thing with both, except like you say, one's humble, one's not humble.
Look at this, Esmeralda. They're coming for you. They're coming for you, girl.
You know what, Esmeralda, but you make, I appreciate your perspective, right? Because what we say neutrally about a boxer, you know, should really be applicable across, you know, any fighter, right? And I do think though that in those cases where how awesome if he just win his, you know, whole career undefeated and everything in the first 1 or 2 rounds. Hey, that's great, right? But I feel I'm rooting for him. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
I feel like do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying I'm a fan, but I'm rooting for him.
These are fights that, like Canelo fighting Mayweather, you know, these are fights that you lose from it, but it's a win-win situation from you because you came back stronger, or because people remember, oh man, you got dropped, but then you come back and then you start that streak again of KOs or, you know, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So and hopefully that's where it goes.
And it's also, I mean, we also want to pay close attention to how these boxers react in the face of, you know, the challenge that they're given. I think that's so key. And I'm not reading comments right now, but I saw at a glance again, you know, our friend Lee made the comment about how, you know, he did respond like with a, like what I would say, good attitude.
He did. He really did.
It showed sportsmanship. I didn't expect that because of his cocky attitude either. And I was like, oh wow, I was like, okay, good guy. I was
pleasantly surprised too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why I go back to what we were talking about earlier. It's not that, you know, I'm happy he licked the canvas. No, it's like, I'm happy this happened because growth comes from this, right?
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Yeah. We've got 2 different people asking about Bruce Carrington. I'm going to start real quick because that's my boy. I love Bruce. He was in camp with me. He was on Team USA. I love him. He's the sweetest kid ever. And I thought he looked amazing. Ladies, did y'all get to see that fight with Bruce Carrington? It was his pro debut.
I didn't.
I didn't get to see it. So tell us about it.
I don't know.
Did she freeze?
Did y'all get to see that?
Oh, you froze on us for a second.
Okay. Did y'all get to watch that with Bruce Carrington? I'm like, am I here? Am I there? Did y'all get to watch that?
No,
I did.
No, you did. You did, Nika? You did
no,
not?
Okay, I
didn't. Well, 2 people in the chat brought him up. So what did y'all want to say about him? I thought he was amazing. I thought he had a great pro debut. Yeah, he's also with my guy, K. Karoma, and he was here with me, and I think he's very talented. He's going to go a long way. They'll move him right, and things will be good. And yes, we're not arguing G Funky about him being dropped and not being able to come back. You know, my boy G Funky and D Styles, you know, they're like, we don't long live boxing, send me a link. He's gonna get on you, Esmeralda.
And that's fine.
But we're
that's probably why they don't invite me, because I have a lot to say about it.
We're allowed our opinions on things. If you're in your feelings, get out your feelings. This is not the place for you.
Yeah, there's no hate. It's really just realistic. It's realistic. I see it from the fighter's perspective. I see it from the coaching perspective, and I see it from, you know, just the fan perspective. And
like,
That's
I feel
about it.
like all boxers have to have some kind of cockiness to them because you got to believe in yourself to be in the
Of
ring
course.
and go in there and win.
It's all mental.
But yeah. So I love a little bit of cockiness, but I love a little bit of humility in there. Like you got to be humble.
Right.
And from him, he was feeling his hype too much, and I felt like this was the humbling that he needed. That's not hating. That's just us giving our honest opinion on it.
Absolutely.
So if you want to pop him up on here so he can get debated on, you can do that. Drop him the links, Christina. Okay.
Nike is ready. She got her boxing gloves on.
I don't think there's any fighters I hate at all.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Some entertain me more than others, but I try to watch absolutely everybody.
There are some that I dislike heavily, but I don't hate them per se.
Right. Okay, I can say that. Dislike strongly, but there's no hate. I mean, I don't care enough to hate somebody, you know.
See, the dislike comes from meeting them and them just being not good people. It's not from their boxing, you know.
Yeah, because we don't know these people personally, so we just form our opinion on what we see in the media. And
I know
stuff
a
like
few
that,
of them personally.
Yeah,
some I like and some I don't. But I'm just gonna say. So Lee says part of the fun of being a long-term boxing fan is following the path of prospects as they confront challenges and how they respond. Boxing is a sport that reveals competitive cores like no other. That is so true. And this is the fun because we can watch someone coming up and like Berlanga, he was knocking everybody out. We didn't know who he was knocking out because we didn't know who these guys were, but he was knocking them out. And then now he sees someone that, okay, he's a little seasoned. He's had some fights, his first real challenge, and he got dropped. How did he handle it? I thought he responded well. So there's absolutely no hate. You know, I think that all of us, if we get too lost in ourselves or our heads in the clouds, we all need to eat some pie sometimes, you know? So, hey, it's all good. Nothing bad.
Nothing bad.
Fighters gotta also get out of like being perfect records throughout their career because losses are gonna happen, you know, and that doesn't make you any less of a good fighter. Like sometimes it's just not your night, or the other guy was just a better fighter that night, you know. So, you know, you could still be a great fighter and have losses on your record.
You know, this is what I would tell Berlanga if he's watching, right? Like this, like
watching. Everybody's watching.
I know you watch. I know he's a fan of the show, so you know. But here's what I would say is that, you know, kudos to how you handled it, right? And the growth, the going back to the drawing board and having to do what you have to do, you know, to improve in those situations, right? To better prepare, you know, have that game plan. I think all of that helps your brand, right? And I say that because, especially in the days of social media, it is about the brand and being seen, being public, being liked, right? And so I think that after this fight and how he handled it, right, he'll also be respected, right? Which is important. And definitely come back, you know, with that attitude. I would love, just because we're talking about it, like I would love that if fighters, and I get it, you know, we talk about how some people are more private than others, but just talking about like the fighter brand, just for them to share a little bit more about them, right? Like just the casual share with the fans, to give them a bit more insight to how they are, because there is that image, right? It's like Nika said, there has to be kind of that level of cockiness, that confidence, right? There has to be that. But are they like that 24/7? You know, it's nice to have that glimpse into the fighters, like, you know, every day.
That's true. Yeah, they're scratching their booty on the couch.
But then we have crazy fans out here.
You know,
I mean, look what happened to Virgil Ortiz. He was being friendly with one of the fans. And then the guy got fucking stalkerish and doing the most. So, you know, I don't feel like they need to show us all their life because people are crazy out here.
Not all the life, you know, not all the life, but, you know, something kind of
enough to get us, to keep us,
like reminiscent of
love you.
But you know what?
Make us love you.
Boxing is also a mental sport. And there's fighters who, they don't want the opponent talking about their kid. They don't want their opponent talking about their wife. They don't want their opponent talking about certain life situations because that's going to start outside of the ring leading up to the
dirty
fight.
living room.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's all mental. So they just physically, mentally have to prepare for it. And they can't give too much without being
Mm-hmm.
So we got
forced to
a
stop.
we got a nice fair question in the chat from T Weezy. And so if we're speaking about being cocky, talk to me about Clarissa. Esmeralda, what you got to say about that?
Yeah.
I mean,
We
because
talked
she's
a
a
little
woman,
bit
does
about
she get
this.
a pass?
Is she what?
Because she's a female, does she get a pass?
Of course not. You can't. No, it's cocky is cocky. And I mean, what is she? What is she? A 3-time division champ?
Yeah, but
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was
4.
disappointed at the last event that I was at. She was, on the floor, first row. She stayed for some of the fights, but she didn't even stay to support the women's title fight. And she's always on social media talking about like, oh, we women, we need to get paid more. We need to do this. We need to support each other. We hate on each other too much. And yet she's not supporting the women that are literally right in front of her fighting for a title fight. And I thought that made me lose a little bit of respect for her. I was like, okay, I say you're not for everybody then. But yeah,
Right.
her tweets lately have been very diva-esque.
So here's what
That's
she
fair.
said. She said, for those of you that missed it, so she said, yes, I'm here at the Top Rank Boxing fight on ESPN. My seat on the floor and this credential, what does it say? Oh, my seat's not on the floor, and this credential that's supposed to give me floor access doesn't. Also, no love shown to the 3-time division world, but plenty shown to WBC interim champ Ryan Garcia. Boxing world is weird.
Wow.
So she was mad that she didn't get that floor access.
But see, then she gets it, and she's there like she looks bored or whatever the case is.
So you're saying she did eventually get the floor access, Esmeralda. You saw her eventually get it, and then
no, this was a different event. The one Nancy is talking about was the Wilder event.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
that was the Wilder event.
Oh, I got you.
When you think about other female boxers, that have more fights under their belt, more wins, more knockouts, you have Seniesa, you have Serrano, you have all these other great, these other fighters. And what is she, like 11? Is she 11? Like 11-0? I forget a record. Whatever it is, yes, we can go on a whole other probably episode just talking about her, her division, 3-time division championship. But there's a lot of controversy around that too. I think at the end of the day, that was kind of, that was kind of call it diva. I can't think of another term.
Diva-esque.
Yeah. Don't be like that.
A little bit,
Yeah. No. So I hope that answers the question.
Nika, do you have anything to say about that before we move on?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not mad when she talks her shit online because I see the interactions and the comments that people make to her. So she kind of just like claps back. She's not like this. What's the other girl's name that we was talking about the other day? Like she don't go looking for stuff. She always reacts to things, like and that's what I do. That's why I'm not. That's why I'm not mad because I react to everything. I don't ever start it. Yeah.
You mean Odessa?
Yes. She starts shit and she instigates it and she does the most. Like Clarissa, I feel like she reacts to things. Like, and that's what I do. I react to things. I don't start them, but I react and I finish them. But Odessa, she is like one of those women who she just like says negative things about other female fighters for like out of the blue, and she just starts it. But I feel like I'm not mad at it because I kind of see myself in her because I'm always reacting to people. I never started, but I always react. I'm working on it, but I'm not there yet. But I'm working on it.
You know what? I can see a little bit of that in you, but also I don't think that you would go to an event and demand to be somewhere and then also not say support your ladies. I will say that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what I mean.
I don't see you doing that. Hey, what's up, Run PMC? Soapbox Podcast, Boxing Podcast. Hello, everybody.
Nika, you're 3 division champ too, though. You got Twitter, you got Facebook and Instagram. So
facts.
I think Twitter I lost. Twitter has me 40 and 2 because I got like 40 accounts, so they got me out of there 40 times. On Facebook, I haven't been suspended because my mom follows me on there, so I don't get rowdy on there. Instagram, I haven't been.
Podcast said, I know we ain't down in the quote. No, we're not down in Clarissa. Someone asked about her. We were talking about Berlanga being cocky. If you would have tuned in the beginning, you're late for the party. And
I feel like some of the cockiness that she brings, it sparks conversation like this, which makes us talk about women's boxing. So I'm not mad at it.
I think there's a difference in like talking shit and like being demanding, right?
Yeah.
Like
I didn't too much care for that tweet about her saying, "Hey, I got this floor seat thing, and I didn't get like this. I got this, but I didn't have floor access and stuff like that." Like you still got a free ticket. You were at the fight, one of the biggest.
But you got to remember, boxing's a lot of politics. You got to also be nice to the right people. You have to be liked by the right people.
Like,
you can't burn your bridges.
Be good with the right people too. Like your people, the ones that got you those tickets. Like if they're not good with the right people, then you're not gonna get.
If you were unappreciative, whatever the case was, you didn't say hi to them or thank you.
I've been denied many times to fights. You know what I do? I don't go on Twitter. I've seen other people do that. I don't go on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You know what I do? I write a return email, say, I understand. I appreciate you even looking at my application. I will try again. And guess what? They remember that. But if you can go, I got denied and blah, blah, blah. Forget it. They're going to remember that too.
Yep.
So
she gives a lot of people a lot of ammunition to not like her, though. I will say that. Yeah. I will say that for sure.
Yeah, she's not for everybody.
But I don't. To be honest, I don't really think she's worse than Odessa, though. Odessa's really bad to me.
She does.
You see the shit she
does seek. She's like a missile. She seeks and then destroys.
I had to click the unfollow.
Unfollow. I had to. I unfollowed her a while back too because I was like, damn. Okay, so because she tried to jump on me too. I was like, girl, this is not what you want.
She did. And chicken, pork. She don't do chicken. Okay.
Yeah, so chicken don't mess with nobody.
Thanks, D Styles. Thank you. He'll go on Twitter and complain for me. So I'm out the loop on what's happening. I'm guessing. No, you good. I know you were at the gym. You said you were late. We forgive you. Your sins have been forgiven. But we got to get to the carne of the show, guys. Okay. Fury Wilder last weekend, the main event. Drum roll. Okay. So I want to go around the panel. I'm gonna start with you, Esmeralda. What went wrong? If you're a Wilder fan, what went wrong?
I think it was his corner. I think a lot had to do with his corner. I think the game plan wasn't there. I think if Wilder would have just thrown a bit more combination, he would have done a lot better. But by the 9th, 10th round, I thought they should have stopped the fight. I felt his eyes just looked gone. Like he looked like he wasn't there anymore. And he had a different coach for this one. And, he changed everything. And I think that just wasn't a good call.
G-Funk, you said Tyson Fury. That's what went wrong. Facts. Okay, Nancy, we're going to go next to you. What happened? What went wrong? If you're the Wilder fan, if you're a Fury fan, hey, it all was according to plan.
I need to clarify, like, I am not like hardcore on either one of these guys, right? But I did on the show, I did say, Fury was going to win. I said he was going to win by decision. I thought it was going to go, the distance. It didn't, right? I was like, I was so close.
Almost.
I was almost right. But I think it, honestly, personally, I think it went the way I thought it would go. I think he's shown that he's historically, I go back to the term, not coachable, right? So like Esmeralda, even if there was a game plan, there might have been a game plan. I think he just, resorts to to doing what he thinks he needs to do. And then these are the results that you get, right? Do I give him kudos for, getting back up and going as far as he did? I do. At the same time, though, D-Style made a really good point on yesterday's show, and y'all can, go to my profile for the link and watch it again. But he made a really good point, because he talked about how, people are saying it's the fight of the year, and it's like, oh my gosh, like amazing fight. But if you really think about it, Wilder was just getting punished the whole time, and he was just getting a beating. That's really what was happening. And does that constitute it being like fight of the year? Right.
Good question.
Yeah, so I know. So that really made me take a step back, right? And think about that. So shout out D-Style. That was a good point. I think I only gave like 2 rounds to Wilder through all of this. And even by round 7, I remember, he threw like 5 shots, missed all 5. Right. And by that time, you could already see that he was just like gone. I don't know if there was some injury that from the prior fight that came back and, started a pain point in the middle of the fight. I'm not sure what happened, but he looked dazed. I mean, he just did not look well. I'm like, is this guy having a panic attack? What happened? I liked I got a lot of heat for this. I will say I liked the entrance on Fury. So I know it was weird, but yeah. I was enjoying it. I'll say that about the fight. Just want to put that out there. I thought it was pretty cool. But back to the fight itself, if you looked at the counter where you were seeing the punches being counted, I mean, consistently every round, you see that Fury was leading, 50+% in terms of punches every single round. Early, you could tell that this was just going to go Fury's way. So I'm glad that we're not going to see a 4. I don't want to see a 4. We're done.
Yes, thank God.
We're definitely done. It was entertaining. It was entertaining. He was all over the place. Started with Spartans and Persians and AC/DC. Gave us a bit of a sermon there. Praising the Lord, which I love. He sang karaoke. Then he went on a rave afterwards. It's like, oh my gosh, what a kick in the gut for Wilder too. That after all of that, right? Like this guy's still like living his best life and having all the energy in the world.
There was a lot of conversation about the different weight, the big difference in weight. But I mean, that's the risk you're taking as a heavyweight. That you might go in, find someone that's 35, 40 pounds heavier than you, because that's the risk you're taking. So in reality, it's like, what you signed up for, and that the possibility is going to be there.
That's so
true. And I've been waiting. So I wanted to ask you ladies a question, if that's okay.
Let's let Nika answer.
Let her answer, because I want a question for you ladies.
What went wrong, and then we'll go back around to that. Nika's gone, so I'll go. I'll take my.
Okay, I'm back.
Nika.
When you drink, when you're drinking and you break the seal, then you have to keep peeing and peeing. And peeing.
Yes. So what went wrong?
Okay, so I was rooting for Wilder because I love a good comeback story. So that's why I don't bet on who's the winner. But I did win some money in that fight because I said it would go past 10, and it did.
So, I like that.
But I feel like Wilder worked on a lot of strength, but not conditioning. Because he gassed out. I feel like he went balls to the wall in the first round, and then like after that, he was just like gassed out. And I also think it was because he got hit, and busted his eardrum, and after that, he could not get his equilibrium back, and he could not get his balance back. Yes. He was just like when Fury would hit him with a jab, he would just like he couldn't even take that. So I feel like he couldn't get his balance back because he didn't have no equilibrium because his eardrum was busted. I feel like he did obviously better than the last fight, but he also had to deal with not having legs because his equilibrium. I'm drinking, y'all. Equilibrium was gone, and he also had to carry like 285 plus on him.
Right.
Can you imagine trying to carry all that weight on no legs? And
he skips leg day.
So it's just like Fury is hard to beat at this point because he has the size and the skill to beat anybody right now.
To
So
burn his legs out, the non-existent legs, and that's what he did. But and then for me, so I had a few things that I was thinking that happened. First, I was thinking, and I know a couple of people that are close to the Wilder camp, and so I'm going to use one of them that told me, kind of put me in my place a little bit. But I was like, you know what? I thought maybe he was overtrained. You know, I mean, we got to think. You know, this is Malik Scott's first like real boxer that he's training, you know, and he's a world champion and they have this championship fight. So maybe he overtrained him. He didn't know like how the camp was supposed to go. Maybe he was overtrained, and then maybe Wilder peaked too soon. Well, this friend of mine who's very close to the Wilder camp actually was there and everything else. He's like, no, 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 no. That's not true. He was not overtrained. And I'm thinking, well, okay, you're sticking up for your dude. You're sticking up for your guy, Malik Scott. But okay, let me hear what you got to say. Then what was it then? Because something was definitely wrong. His legs were shot in the second, third round. The first round looked really good. He was going to the body. He looked like he had learned some new things. But then he reverted back to his old ways. And he said, well, exactly.
I think that he shouldn't have changed his gloves. I feel like he should have kept the gloves that he was planning on using for the fight because he's used those gloves previously and broke his hand before. And so when he changed to those Mexican style,
he did tell me that the equilibrium was off, and that's what it was. But then I'm thinking, how early did that happen? Because we didn't start seeing the blood coming out till later.
Yeah.
So who knows, right? Who knows? But Nancy, you said you had a question for all the ladies. What's that question?
I had a question, but two things before that. So Diesel corrected me. It was actually G Funky that said that earlier. My bad. So shout out to G Funky. Sorry about that. And the talk about the gloves, I'm going to tell you something. Like some of this stuff bothers me, especially when you're at that pay grade as a boxer. Like you're surrounded by management, by a team that's supposed to make sure that like shit like that is straight. The last thing you should be worrying about at this level in your career as a boxer at a fight that big is your gloves.
Right.
You know, and I'm not saying that it's a lie. Like I truly believe, hey, there was some mix up shit. I don't know what happened. I believe it because stuff like that happens, but you have people that are supposed to prepare. Right. It's like you got to be prepared. It's like when I take my son, to a football game, we got more than one mouthpiece. Right. So there's just some things that I think his camp, dropped the ball on. And that's one of them for sure. So my question was going to be with regards to the legs, because I'm not a boxer. Right. And you ladies are in the ring and you work with the boxers. And so for me,
not me. I'm not in the
well, Christina and Esmeralda.
I know I'm called knockouts with Nika, but I'm probably not bitches out.
But she'll knock you out.
Like to talk shit.
Yes. Addressing Christina and Esmeralda. Addressing Christina and Esmeralda. Right. So it's clear that it's so critical, right, that the leg work be there, right, and that you have the strength in the legs, right? So how does he improve that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like how does he get better? Because that's just, that's really, I hate to say, like the death of him. How does that improve? How do you get at this level in his career? Like, how does that get better? Because that's critical. That's I think critical. That was a critical piece to him losing.
Yeah, the legs are extremely critical. That was one of my concerns. My other concern was there was a lot of punches with this part of the hand, the arm. So when instead of throwing hooks, they weren't really with this part. It was more like throwing the hook, and it was this part that was hitting the head. So I think, unfortunately, at this point in his career, I would say he needs to get repetition on some basics, like throwing the clean shot, like making sure the fist is there with the hook, making sure with the uppercut, this is the part that's hitting, and definitely getting power into those legs, because that's where the power is going to come from.
And so we'll disagree a little bit, but for the most part, we don't. but I was like, I'm gonna say forget the legs. Like the legs, they're skinny. That's
Mhm.
hereditary. They're gonna be there. That's what it is, skinny. But for me, in my experience, I believe power comes from the core. So he needs to be in condition, and he needs to work on his core. If you're conditioned, you're putting in that road work, and you're doing everything that your strength and conditioning coach tells you to do. You can take those shots. You can take those shots. He think, oh, I don't run. So many times we've heard he does not run. He doesn't run. He just does bag work, blah blah blah, nah. Okay, yeah, just say he needs to run. Absolutely. So everybody knows that he doesn't run. You need to run, man. You need to run because your conditioning has to be up to par, and then you'll be able to take some of these shots. But when you are not in condition, you can't take those shots. And that core has got to be strong too, because that is the basis of everything. Your legs, your arms, your neck, your chest, everything. That's where it all is.
And missing a powerful
legs,
shot, like throwing a very strong hook or a very strong upper and missing it when it doesn't land, that takes so much energy.
So much out of you.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And he did that a lot. He missed some shots, and it's like that takes so much out of you.
Yeah, it's like I told you
but
that.
I don't know if you saw that little video that was being tweeted out. Like he hit him with this crazy right that made Wilder's whole body freaking wave.
Fury's body.
Yeah, wave. And I was like, he didn't even fall out. I was like, that is crazy.
Because he is in shape. He's heavy and he's chunky, but he does his work.
He's conditioned.
He is conditioned. Yes. T. Weezy said, "Do you ladies believe the referee could have done a better job?" You know what? I think they always.
I feel like they did.
He did a good job.
I feel like the referee did as good as he can do. He was stopping it, so like, hey, get off his back, because he saw that Fury was trying to like put all his weight on. Yeah. I feel like he did the best thing he could do, to be honest.
That's a very high. Can you imagine? I've had to, like, when we're sparring here or whatever, and I have to get in the ring like to be the ref. I'm like, they put me with the big guys. I'm like, they're gonna fall on me. You're trying to get away. But yeah. My husband's messaging me. I don't know why he's not doing it here. He's like, it's too late for Wilder to learn new tricks.
And that's why, and that's why I'm asking it. That's why I was asking the question, because like, what do you do? Like at this stage, how do you, I'm not saying you should retire.
When you get her like he did, you revert back to your old ways, or when you get deep in the waters. First round.
I know, and that's what I said last week. I was like, if his plan doesn't work when he's going there, he's gonna revert to what he knows, which is trying to throw the right. And he didn't have nothing behind those punches to throw that right and hurt Fury with it. So it was like,
we can all agree that the first round was beautiful. The first round was great. He was really trying to do what Malik.
If he had the stamina and the conditioning to keep that up,
couldn't keep it up.
He could have won. Yeah, he could have probably won, but he was gassed out. He had a lot more weight on him that he had to carry around, and then carry Fury's weight on top of him during the fight. It was.
Do you guys care to watch him fight? Joshua?
I would watch it. I'm not gonna. I would watch it because I feel like they both have like suspect chins. Like their chins are like the same.
He'll beat him.
So that would be a interesting fight to watch.
I think mentally AJ's already, those last two fights, and then his last two losses, I think he's already like mentally not strong, and his
ego, everything.
Yeah, he's a superstar over there, and Wilder would knock him out. That's my opinion, though.
I think that would start another little rivalry over there if he goes over there and beats Joshua. Then there'll like be another little trilogy, maybe. So
with the counts and like, the refs, back to the ref question, like I think he did a good job. Like what people got to remember is like boxing 101, right? When the refs in the count, the other fighter, has to go to the corner. And to clarify, that's got to be the neutral corner. And if the fighter doesn't do that, the ref has to turn around and tell them to go back to the corner, right? So that's Wilder's fault. When it comes to the way that they count, you got to remember, not every ref is told to count a certain way. And I said this yesterday, right? Like you might have a ref that counts like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You have another one that's like 1 hippopotamus, 2 hippopotamus. And that's like a second, difference or so, a millisecond, whatever it is, but it's not going to be the same. Lee, I know, is on. He's touched on this before, and I forgot what the conversation was, but how, you go back and you look at these refs, and what you want to see is consistency in how they count, right? So when there isn't, then that's when there's an issue, and you can, claim, oh, he counted too slow. But for the most part, the refs are consistent, but they don't have to be exactly the same. And in this case, I think Wilder is really to blame. He knows. Again, that's like the boxing 101, right?
But then, I'm gonna like go back to what Esmeralda said earlier, like the corner for Wilder. I was drinking when I was watching the fight, whatever. So all I heard the corner telling Wilder was, "You've been blessed with this right hand, or this gift, and you're not using it." And I was like, that right hand's not working for him, my guy. Tell him something else. Like,
right.
He said that for like 2 or 3 rounds. I was like, hey, I wanted to say, hey, that gift is not working right now.
You're like, even I see it, it's not working.
Yeah, it's not working. But that's all he kept telling him. He's like, you've been blessed with this gift. Use it.
Nobody's gonna stand in front of that gift anymore. They already know what's gonna happen when they open it.
Yeah.
I have to address Jesus. Too much clinching fury. Okay, look, let me tell you something, Jesus. In the pros, that's part of dirty tactics. If they know that they can burn your legs out, they're gonna burn your legs out, and that's what he did. But you know what? He can't burn his legs out. He can't clinch. He can't lay on Wilder if Wilder's not leaning over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Did he burn his legs out? Did he grab him? Yes, exactly. And guess what? I would have told my fighter the same thing. Yeah. We already know he doesn't have conditioning. We already know he's looking gassed. He keeps leaning in. So guess what? Clinch him, lay on him, burn the legs out. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah, Wilder had to come in with some stamina, some bobbing and weaving, some in and out. He had to do something to get away from that clenching, and he not at one point did he.
The only thing I saw him trying to do, he took a knee one time to like try to get Wilder's weight off of him, and I was like, that's not gonna work for you the whole fight. But I was really like, everybody said, oh, Malik Scott did a good job. I don't agree with it. All I heard him say was like, you've been blessed with this gift and use it. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, that's your plan, to say you've been blessed with this gift, use it? He didn't have nothing behind that, right? He didn't have no legs, no power, no nothing. He was gassed out. Like, give me something more. But I gotta give it to Wilder, like, from maybe the 3rd round and on, the rest of the fight, it was all heart and gut, because he didn't have nothing. He didn't have nothing left in him. Nothing.
Wilder needs to just get a corner,
right, Coach Derek.
A team that he completely trusts.
Who does he trust?
Yeah, because
he couldn't trust Mark Breland, which I thought was ridiculous. And it's like, who does he trust? He just wants, all he cares about is winning. It's like,
question for you ladies.
We all want to win. But it's like, maybe look inside of you.
Question for you ladies. Do you think he's going to change his corner again? Like his coach and staff again?
So
I think he is. I think he will. I think the one thing, and I don't even know factually if this is something to credit Malik with, but I think maybe he is to credit for the fact that he didn't quit and he kept going. Because honestly, I was just waiting for, he was taking a beating. I'm like, he's going to quit. He's not coming back out of that corner. And maybe some of that's, credit to Malik.
I want to give I just want to give a shout out to King Sancho. He said he just subbed, and y'all know y'all boxing came from here from Nike's Post. He's always on my Red Cup live, so
we appreciate you,
King Sancho.
Thank you for supporting.
Viva Mexico! He has a Mexican
You know what?
flag,
Yeah, thank you to everyone that's watching. I can't readily reply.
We're trying to get to all the comments. I'm so sorry.
I know, but
so
y'all
that y'all are here. Like, seriously.
Y'all are awesome. Y'all get the interaction and engage in the middle of the chat, but also in Twitter. I just appreciate all of you. So thank you.
I don't think he's gonna change his corner this time, because I feel like he has a lot of trust in Malik Scott. He let Wilder go out on his shield, per se. So that's all he really wanted. So he'll move forward on whoever he'll fight next with Malik Scott. I just feel like they need to work on a little bit more conditioning. If they're gonna come in with a bigger weight, then they need to be conditioned to fight with that weight and more than one round, because all I saw was one round balls to the wall. After that, it was just like it was gassed out. Like I was so shocked to see Wilder get hit with like a jab, and he was just like,
and
he couldn't even stand up. I was like, damn.
Well, I'll tell you.
He shouldn't retire, or this and that. I mean, we haven't said he should retire.
No, I don't think he should. He needs at least he needs at least another fight just to heal from all of this, to be honest. I saw so Mr. Herring is on, ladies, and I can say I'm Team Herring.
I'll see you next week. We're gonna talk about y'all in a minute. I'm gonna see y'all next week. I'll be flying to that'll be it. That's our ending combo. but let's stay on this about the retiring. So as a coach or a manager or somebody that loves their fighter, I could see saying personally, I don't think you should fight anymore. I mean, I think Fury took a few years off his life in those last 2 fights. That's my opinion. But I think that if they gave him the fight with AJ or somebody else, just for his own confidence and his own well-being mentally, somebody that we know he's going to beat. Good to see you too, Jamal. I personally think he should retire, and I'm probably going to get a lot of flack from that, but I really do. I just didn't like the way he looked. Who knows what he looks like now? What do you ladies think? Should he retire?
No, I don't think
he should retire. Like, there's just some fighters that have your card and your number, and Fury's that guy for him. I still feel like he got knockout power to knock out a lot of the heavyweights that are still out there right now. But if he wants to, then he's made his mark in the boxing world. He don't need to prove nothing to nobody. So go out with your health and live with your family, enjoy your money and your health, and do you. Because to be honest, a lot of these fans do not give 2 fucks about you.
That's true.
Once you leave the boxing world, and they don't care. They just live in the moment. So whatever's best for him, that's what he needs to do. So.
Yeah, I think he needs at least one more fight. I don't think he should retire.
Yeah, he took a lot of punishment to the Luis Ortiz fight. But Jamel says if he doesn't retire Christine, he may need to pick the next few opponents wisely. I totally agree with that.
Yep.
I totally agree. I will say this, and I'll tell you off camera, Jamel, because you know the guy I'm talking about. But a guy that I know, his dad had dinner with Malik actually a few days ago, and asked him that very question. Is Wilder going to retire? And he said, absolutely not. He's not. So we got that answer. Esmeralda, should he retire? Do you think he's taking too much punishment? Can he go on?
I don't think he should retire. However, I do think that the next 2 fights are critical to him thinking about retirement. Like Herring said, if he needs to choose wisely. He also needs to get his confidence back. He needs to get that mentality healthy again. But the next 2 fights, if he still doesn't look good, or if there's slightly no improvement, then he needs to think about retirement, because if not, he's just going to be taking a beating and end off in a really bad, unhealthy situation.
Yeah.
And if he continues, doesn't he need a real teacher? Doesn't he need a real boxing coach? Like, I'm sorry, Malik, maybe like a Virgil Hunter or somebody like that. I mean, because are we saying that he's not going to retire as boxing fans, or he shouldn't as boxing fans, or as humans, that this guy is a real human being? Like, are we saying that with our hearts or with our boxing brains? Like, where does this come from?
I think he was doing good with Malik Scott. I just feel like Fury, he's a big fighter with skill, and he just cannot beat this guy. But the other heavyweights out there, he has a great chance of knocking these other guys out. So, you know, I'm not.
I think he needs that fight, and I've said this earlier, and maybe someone knows a better way to say it, but it's for that emotional healing. Like he needs that one more fight, just under the belt, and then maybe if the thought of retirement is even crossing his mind, then maybe consider it. But I'm going to tell you. So if everything that we're hearing is true, right? The hand, because there's been reports about the finger and then about the wrist and then the eardrum situation and that from the previous fight. Like there is a lot of injury there, right? There's a lot of injury. So that's when I'm also hoping that he's surrounded by people that'll have real talk with him when it comes to, his health and what he really is risking going into another fight. So that's the part that we don't know. Right. We'll see. But I would like him to fight at least one more time. We don't want to take away like everything that he's done. I mean, he's had like some really good fights, knockouts, right?
He's done great things. He has. Jamal has a great point. If anything, you take what Wilder has and tune some of his weaknesses, and that's true. And I think that is a great point. The best trainer he can go to, but his pride will never allow him. Sugar Hill, yeah, Sugar Hill is definitely proven this time and time again. So we have so many comments, and I appreciate them all.
I know.
Seeing as to how Wilder only lost to one person, he should test the waters in other fights. And based off how he feels and performs, he can decide whether he should retire. And yeah, absolutely, it definitely is going to be up to him. I'm just saying, yes, like Jamel said, I'm more concerned with his health and these injuries that we don't know about. Because
that's what I'm saying, Jamel.
We don't know.
Right. Right. But there's something clearly there. There's something clearly there, with the hand, because I haven't gone back to watch the fight again, but I did catch in one of those rounds where he like got the wrist, right? So that goes back to Esmeralda's good point and her observation, right? And how he was just like going in there, with the hand just, a bent more, and clearly that's how he broke it. But there's more, and I'm talking not just the physical, right? I think there's also something there, like from a mental, emotional standpoint, and that's why you have what we saw, Nika pointed out, is a corner constantly telling him, you have this kind of that encouragement, like do it. You're not. There's something there that needs to be, I guess, constantly massaged with him when it comes to like you're good, the reminder that, hey, you're a champion. Everybody needs that, but I feel like Malik was giving him more of that, and that's a good thing. But then you also need to, be mindful of like the physical aspect of it, and that I don't know. He did come in, so I think Jamel made again. I'm not reading the comments, but I think he made a comment earlier in regards to seeing some tweaks that were made, right? So we saw some of that, and that I have to believe that came from Malik. We saw some of that in the earlier rounds, but again, he didn't stick to the plan, right? He
when he got hurt, he went back to his old ways. But Jamel, this is so, and people that are in boxing know this. Esmeralda, you're gonna get this too. People don't always take into account about the past injuries he may have had that lingered around after the second fight. It's so
that's true. What I'm saying.
Like, was he 100%? No, we don't know that. That's why I'm like, how much damage does he really have? And yes, his eardrum, the same eardrum, was ruptured again.
But you protect those injuries, and you protect them by, blocking that eardrum. Working more on the defense.
If your people know about these injuries, we've talked about this before. These yes men that surround these boxers because they want their payday, and they want to keep riding the wave until the wave is just a drop of water. It's like they want to ride till the wheels come off, and then that's where I say we have to think he is a person,
right?
I don't know. It's I'm not afraid to admit it. After the Roach fight, I had a serious injury, and I honestly, the pandemic happening gave me more time to heal. Yeah, the pandemic did
those rabbit punches. Right.
What was a blessing.
Thanks for sharing that, Jamal.
Yeah. But I want to ask you this. should he have given a post-fight interview and have the excuses already come out? Have y'all seen any excuses
Okay.
or
Can
who
I
wants
can I
to
go
go
first on
first?
this one?
Yeah,
Can I go?
please.
Okay, only because I had made a comment on Twitter, and once you post, you can't tweak or edit, and I'm like, I'm not going to delete this. I'm going to move on.
Nika has receipts. No, you cannot.
You can, right? But I'm like, people will understand what I mean, and it was to say that oh, and I saw this, like I saw this after like me saying this on like Facebook and Twitter, where there's going to be some people that are real fans, like real Wilder fans, right? But that are also like boxing fans that expect that that acknowledgement, and you know what, maybe the interview, okay, right? Because I was told by people that were there, oh, he was taken to the hospital, right? And he's not well. So I said, okay, well, I didn't know that, right? I didn't know that. But then I come and see the videos, and there was enough time to at least acknowledge, and maybe just say a word or two, and then leave. This was a trilogy, right? Like this is these guys like helped feed each other's families with these 3 fights. Like, I do hope at some point there is some type of acknowledgement and maybe mutual respect expressed. But I do wish there would have been an interview, and if not like what we're used to in an interview, because yes, he was injured and he wasn't well. Just something, I feel like we needed something. And I'm not even, like I said, I'm not like this hardcore Wilder fan, or Fury,
Right.
but as a boxing fan, like I would have appreciated something. Like if he had enough time to sit there and reject Fury and like say, no, whatever he said, I don't like you, I don't respect you, and then you would have had at least like 5 seconds just to thank the fans, or say something.
His pride was hurt.
Yeah.
I'm sure he felt embarrassed, and I'm sure he was probably a lot more hard on himself than anybody else could be. And I think that was one of the reasons why also he was just like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to see anybody. I just want to get out of here.
Well, is this something new? I mean, is this something new? I mean, what do you think, Nika? Should he have said something? I mean, did you see any excuses that have come out since then of why he didn't do it, or about the fight?
I haven't seen any excuses of why he didn't do it, but I don't know how hurt he was. So, when you hurt, the first thing they want to do is take him to the hospital. But I would have liked a post interview, after the fight. So
he looked out of it.
That's just us as fans wanting. That's just us
His
as fans being greedy. Wanting everything given to us, but his health comes first. So if he had a busted eardrum, broken hand, and all this stuff, you need to go to the hospital. So you know what? Do you, my guy? But we are fans. We are greedy, and we are never satisfied.
Fans when he left the ring.
Yeah,
that's good.
But we're still greedy as fans, and we're never satisfied. So he had to go to the hospital. But I would.
Well, you know what?
I would have loved to hear what he had to say. So.
But I'm even speaking more of about Fury. Like, you know what? The better man win. Congratulations. Better man won. Congratulations.
Something.
The only thing I saw, and I don't know if you all saw it either, was all he did was like lay on my back and burn my legs out or something like that. He was laying on me.
I saw that.
And I'm like, okay, but if you're leaning down, yeah, I would tell my guy to do the same thing. But it's I pray that he's good. I definitely don't want to see a rematch. And if he decides to come back, yes, the matchmaker and his people need to pick the next few guys wisely. I think he's made a lot of money. And I don't think he needs the money. I think it might just be a pride thing. But we all have a little bit of that. So I can see. But before we wrap up, we have a couple of things that I would just want to go to. And Esmeralda, you're going to a fight this week, in a top rank fight. Let's talk about that. I'm jealous.
I'm so excited. We watched Vaquero finish up some of his training camp in Tijuana. I mean, just so to see him spar and then to see him fight is always just amazing, because you see 2 different people. And he's the main event for this fight on Friday. The co-main event, I don't know if you guys remember, Giovanni Santillan, he fought Tony DeMarco a couple fights back, and it was a really bad robbery.
Good. Yeah.
and he's fighting the guy named Angel Ruiz, but I believe Robert Garcia has a few fighters on that card. So I'm excited to see who else is going to be there.
Yes, that's Jamal said, hell, I want to go to that fight. Maestro, yes, Big Baby Anderson. He is. I agree with you on that. He was also here, Team USA in camp. The guy is a beast. I was gonna say the kid. He's not a kid, but he kind of is a kid. He's young. He is definitely a prospect like that. That's for sure. Navarrete, let's go. It was a great show. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in.
So I have a question for the Navarrete
yes.
and Joel Gonzalez fight. So
Yes.
if Navarrete fucks Joel Gonzalez up in like a crazy fashion, are we gonna take some like praise off of Shakur Stevenson? That to segue into the next topic before we go, right?
That's a good question, girl.
Wait, somebody said I have Puerto Rican cheetah print on.
Yeah.
You know what, Gil? You are a piece of.
That's
this
funny.
is not Puerto Rican fucking cheetah print, okay?
Shushan Boxing Vaquero got tested by the Puerto Rican last time. He shouldn't have a problem this Friday. Even Shakur smoked his opponent.
But did he smoke him, or did he just like kind of like won the rounds? Like it was a long, drawn out fight against Joet. To me, that's just my opinion, you know. So I feel like if Navarrete, because you know, Shakur called on Navarrete when he moved up to 130, and it's like, my guy, you had a chance to fight him, and then you passed up on that. You moved up, and now you want to call Navarrete down. So if Navarrete beats Joel Gonzalez in like a crazy fashion, which I think he will, like, are we gonna be like real about Shakur, like how he hasn't been really beating fighters like that? People calling him a beast.
You see Jamel's comment. You see Jamel's comment, right?
Yeah, I'm always gonna take a stab because I do not like this guy. When we were talking about earlier, like, do we hate fighters? And I said, no, hate is a strong word, but I strongly dislike fighters. He's one of those fighters I dislike strongly. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Shushan Boxing, Naikara, and me. Okay. So let's. Oh my gosh. We're gonna move on.
Wait, someone mentioned the Fresno fight this weekend, and yeah, that's the Mikey Garcia card. With Diego Pacheco's going to be on that. He's a good fighter, but
is that the one, the Mikey Garcia in Fresno? Is that it?
Yeah, it's in Fresno.
No, I haven't even been worried about Mikey Garcia.
I'm excited about Bam Rodriguez. Mikey, I love you, but I'm not.
Yeah, like Mikey.
Yeah. But Bam, yes, absolutely. 100.
Yeah, definitely rooting. Definitely rooting for Bam. I don't know why my video's frozen, y'all. I was trying to mess with it. So
well, at least it froze on a good pose. It froze on a good pose.
Okay, I'm not doing. I'm not poking my nose or something crazy.
No.
Lee okay. Give a shout out to Wait, where did it go? All right, Nika, stop.
Here we go.
No, Lee wanted to give a shout out for my In This Corner, the podcast co-host Amber Renee Dixon, who will call fights tomorrow and Friday with James Smitty Smith on UFC Fight Pass. All right.
Shout out to Amber.
When you're drinking, that's hard to read.
James. Shout out to James and Amber. I don't know Amber, but shout out to her. That's fabulous.
See, Jamel is being politically correct in this chat. I take nothing from Shakur. He can fight. He's just not a big finisher. Yeah, you know what?
And that's where we're gonna end. Okay, this is where we're gonna end. We're gonna end on next weekend's fight, Herring versus Stevenson. I am very excited because I leave camp on Tuesday and I'm flying to Atlanta on Thursday. So I will be there live, and I'm so excited. But let's get okay. We already know what Nika's gonna say, but we're gonna go ahead and start with Nika. Anyway, Nika, what are your predictions for next weekend's fight, girl?
I'm hoping with every fiber in my bone that Jamel gets him with one of those, with those body punches and those uppercuts. And let me tell you, I have a lot of people bookmarked on Twitter. Oh my God, you're gonna feel them. You're gonna feel my wrath. You are gonna feel my wrath after this fight.
I bet
I'm
you
gonna
do.
talk so much shit because I really don't think Shakur is what everybody claims for him to be. He's a lazy motherfucker. He's lazy as fuck. He's
Tell us
lazy.
how you
He just
really
he
feel.
relies on his skill or whatever, but he don't put in that work that Jamel puts in. You can see, like, he hasn't even been posting no videos of what he's been doing because he ain't been doing nothing. I don't know if you saw, because I keep up with everything. He's been like posting videos of him. I believe he's having trouble making weight. He has like all these sweats and sweatsuits trying to lose weight right now. And this was like Monday, and you have 2 weeks, and you're doing that right now. That tells me that you're having trouble making weight, my guy. You haven't been putting in that work, So, all right.
Yep.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
If you've been talking shit on Twitter, guarantee you that
You're
I
going
have the
down.
thing bookmarked. I bookmarked it, and I'm on your ass like grass, and I'm the lawnmower. Let me tell you.
So Esmeralda, who you got, girl? How's it going down? And I know Jamel's on here, but you say what you want. Yes, that's my girls, perfecting athletes. No sweatshirts. Hey, that's right.
Oh man, I think Stevenson's gonna take it. No, I'm just joking. I think
Oh, we're having some technical difficulties right about now.
I honestly, you know what? I'm not sold on Stevenson. I do see, like Nika says, there's things that he's not disciplined enough. But I mean, I root for everybody. I mean, I hope he does well. I really do hope he looks good.
I don't hope. I hope he. Let me tell you. I hope he gets knocked the fuck out and laid out there and just.
That's right, Jamel. That's right.
Oh, let me shut up.
But yeah,
I'm drinking, but let me tell you, I hope it's bad.
I think Jamel. I mean, I don't have any doubt on his side. I think he's going to perform really well. It's just a matter of I want to see a great fight. Like, he's performing great, and I want to see Shakur Stevenson perform at that level also. So to make it a great fight, if he does get KO'd or if he doesn't, I just want to see the level of performance on his end be up there.
Yeah. Nancy, who you got, girl?
No secret. And y'all know it's not just because he's on. So again, Jamal, thank you for the support and tuning in. But yeah, I'm going for Jamel, all the way, and I'm rooting for that knockout. And we've been talking this whole show about the discipline, about sticking to the game plan, about just being about a team. I mean, Jamel's got all of that, right? All of that.
Yes.
I think this is a good matchup, right? I think that even though I'm rooting for Jamel, I think that both fighters, are good, and it's gonna be a really, really good fight. But Jamel's gonna take it. And I'm definitely rooting for that to be by knockout.
Did you guys notice that on the special that they had on Monday that they didn't really show that much of Shakur working out at his camp right now? All the clips that they showed was from his last camp when he was with the B&B boxing. That means he's not really putting in work like that. I'm just giving you that little
to be a detective, a private eye.
Yeah, let me tell you. I can open up Mercedes investigations. Let me tell you, I catch everything. He's up at
we talked about
2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning playing spades. My God, you need sleep. You need sleep to recuperate your body. But do you even need to recuperate your body? Because are you even doing anything to recuperate? Are you working? What are you doing? All right.
Twin Munoz said, Nika, what are you gonna do if Shakur wins?
That's not gonna happen. So leave the chat, sir.
Okay, so leave the chat. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I think. So first of all, Jamel knows I know both camps, I know both sides, and
that question.
but I believe that Jamel's got it late stoppage. I really do. I take nothing away from Shakur's coach and people. Like I said, I know them too, and some of them I love dearly. But I also, Jamel said, don't jinx him, Nika. But I also like all of Jamel's team. I love them. They're all amazing. So I definitely believe that Jamel late stoppage. Maestro said Jamel,
I just feel like this is humble season. I'm telling you, this is humble season. And Shakur, I remember I told you there was a list of fighters that I needed to be humble, and Shakur's on that list. Shakur's on that list. He needs to be humble because, like, I feel like he's talks this shit of things that he hasn't really showed and proved. Like, you're not a monster out there knocking people out like that. Who are you, my guy? You're not really like that. And you know,
yeah, like I had someone message and talk about Shakur's like knockouts and stuff, and I'm like, hello, right? Like out of Jamel's, and he's on, so he can correct me. Like 23 wins, right? He's knocked out like his opponents like 11 times, I think that I'd seen. Still, again, it's there on both sides. That's what makes it a good fight. So I need to pull that up. I need to share it with Nika, our investigator, because I remember someone messaging me and saying that.
You're right, Gil. Shakur is nice. We're not bugging. We're not saying
I didn't say that. I didn't say Shakur was a bum, Gil.
We're not saying that at all. Not at all.
I didn't say Shakur was a bum, but I don't feel like he's this monster that you guys are putting him out there to be. And I don't feel like he puts in the work that he needs to put in, and that's just what it is. And Gil, I'm gonna screenshot this and I'm on your ass after this fight. You know, Shakur is not that guy. He's just not that guy.
I think this is a fight that Shakur needs. I think it's one of those that for him it's a win-win situation in the sense that whether he gets KO'd or loses, it's a win in experience and it's a win for him on his next fight that can make him better. So
wait, sorry. I want to interrupt you because you put this on the screen. Gil says he's taking my Boricua card because supposedly Shakur is Boricua. He doesn't even claim he's Puerto Rican anymore because that Oscar Valdez fight was kind of out of the works. He was only claiming that he was Puerto Rican when they were trying to boost that Oscar Valdez and Shakur fight. When's the last time you heard Shakur say that he was Puerto Rican, Gil? Really? 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 Get out of here. Oh my God. When was the last time you heard Shakur say he was Puerto Rican? Please tell me. Hit me on Twitter. Please tell me when was the last time you heard Shakur say that he was Puerto Rican. I'm more Puerto Rican in my pinky than Shakur is. Get out of here.
Oh my God. You're going to say he doesn't speak Spanish.
He doesn't speak Spanish. Gil, do you speak Spanish, Gil? Because there's a lot of New York Ricans who don't speak Spanish, but they want to play the fucking Puerto Rican card and they don't even speak Spanish. My guy, I speak fluent. I speak fluent Spanish. That's my first language. Okay, so I can talk all the shit I want. Next.
I think this is a good fight for the fans. It's definitely a good fight for the fans. You know, when you think of the matchups, it's a good matchup. You know, the stats are there. It's a good fight. It's really going to be, you know, a good fight. I think Jamel's got, you know, more experience, and we're going to see that in the fight. So Jamel all the way.
So we're going to stay on you for a second. And any closing comments, any shout outs, where can people find you?
Shout out to Jamel because he's on and he's gonna win, and we know this, and I can't wait to have the celebratory show to talk all about it. So he knows that he'll have us rooting for him. As always, thank you, ladies. I really enjoy, you know, I don't get to watch all the comments, y'all, but for everybody watching, y'all rock. You know, thank you for tuning in. Hit the like, you know, share with the comadre and the compadre and everybody. We have a lot of fun doing this, and we love when y'all engage. So thank you.
Jamel knows where to come whenever he's having a bad day. We'll make your a day better. Esmeralda, last comment, shout outs.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram and Fotógrafa de la Gente. I'm on Twitter, Esme Ferraro. Follow me this weekend. I'll be, you know, posting pictures and some behind the scenes of the Vaquero Navarrete fight. So it'll be extremely exciting. I'll try to shoot as much as I can there ringside.
Yay! Absolutely. Nika, last comment, shout outs. Where can people find you?
So you can find me on YouTube at Nikas with Nika. On Twitter, it's boxing_bird81. On Instagram, you know, I have to be incognito on Twitter because they already have my picture posted on the Twitter office wall. On Instagram is Nakas with Nika. And let me tell you, if you talk shit about Jamel Herring and this fucking Shakur fight on Twitter, best believe I have you bookmarked, and I'm going to be on your ass for a whole week. So
Thank you all. Thank you all. I appreciate all the comments. Long live boxing, Lee Groves, Jamel, everybody that's tuned in. I mean, I wish I could name you all, but we're so happy. Where the white women at? Oh Lord.
Oh my gosh.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me?
Ay.
Broderick 916. What area code is that? What area
No
code
le
is
das
that?
gusto a nadie, I swear.
916. 916 area code. What is that?
I'm sorry that I'm sorry.
Sacramento.
You know what? I'm gonna put wait. I'm gonna tell you this.
You got brown skin. I'm sorry. Maybe it's the wrong show for you.
Hey, I took white girls here. Are you fucking kidding me? And then
hey, I'll claim this.
Picture on there. Yo,
so I took my ancestry DNA and I can say that I'm like 2% Irish. Is that enough?
We need some pods on the show. Oh my God. Go look that shit up on your fucking porn bookmarks on your phone, sir. This is not the page for you. All right? These are Latinas over here, my guy. Fuck out of here.
This is the wrong show. I think that you should have some I don't know, someone else started.
Go suck a dick. Go suck a dick. Go suck a dick.
But thank you anyway for tuning in. I appreciate you. I'm sure we won't see you again. I'm sorry to hear that though. But anyway, I thank you so much.
All right. What's his name? I'm gonna start. Broderick is what's that? You know, if I wasn't drinking right now, I would call him the coach from the Raiders. What's the Raiders coach name? What's the Raiders coach name right now?
Oh, I don't know.
Coach? Oh my God! You're lucky I'm drinking,
about
my guy.
America's team, the Dallas Cowboys.
John Gruden. This is Broderick guy is John Gruden talking about where the white girls. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You see nothing but Latinas up here and you talking about where the white girls. Up your ass, my guy. Up your fucking ass.
It's Hispanic Heritage Month.
It is Hispanic Heritage Month. Can we please have a month? Can we please have 1 month, please?
It's always got to be a troll. Every week it's got to be a troll who wants attention, my guy.
Oh my goodness.
Get off your knees. Get off your knees. Get off your knees.
But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate
nothing but
so
sofrito
much.
Up here. Nothing but
sofritos
up here. Okay.
Subscribe to In the Ring with Christine and Knockouts with Nika and Nancy's Boxing Republic. Follow her, please. And we have got to stay tuned for Esmeralda's amazing. Oh my gosh, amazing!
I know Esmeralda
that are coming soon. Yes. So love you all. Mwah, good night.
Good night.